Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. If all goes to plan, this will come out not long after the last weekend roundup, which took forever because of the vast amount of racing that went on a week ago. This weekend there was a lot less, which I think means some balancing of the racing calendar may be a good idea. More series might get more fans if they were more spread out, and people had the ability to actually watch them live. Anyway, this was an important weekend, one I have been looking forward to for the last month or so, the final round of the Super Formula for 2023. Liam Lawson versus Tomoki Najiri versus Ritomo Miyata, a three-way fight for the title at Suzuka. Not only that, we have the penultimate round of WRC from Central Europe, the penultimate round of Supercars Australia from the supremely awesome Surfers Paradise, Stock Car Brazil from Autodromo Velocita, and the penultimate round of NASCAR, where we find out the final four at Martinsville. And of course we also have Formula 1 from Mexico, which we have already looked at here, so make sure you check that out. With that, make sure you subscribe and let's jump into the video. So let's get the big one out of the way. Super Formula from Suzuka, the two final races of the series in 2023. I was damn excited about this one. Najiri and Miyata shared the front row for race 1. Liam Lawson was back in 7th. Tomoki Najiri led away from the start, Miyata dropped back. Unfortunately, the race was interrupted after a huge crash at 130R involving Hiroki Otsu and Ukyo Sasahara. A real horror crash, the barrier was wrecked, the race was cancelled after 6 laps. Thankfully, both drivers were okay. Sasahara was diagnosed with a concussion, but it could have been a lot worse. Najiri was declared the winner and was just 5 points behind Miyata. Liam Lawson could still win the title, but he needed things to happen. Kakanoushi Ota led the title contenders. The Dandelion rookie was really impressive as he gapped Liam Lawson. This was a super tense game of chess amongst the title chasers, but in the end it was stalemate with no drivers really getting close enough to challenge the others. A little disappointing it wasn't closer, but it was a fantastic year. Liam Lawson had a real breakout year, runner-up in the Super Formula, and now has Formula 1 in his sights. Najiri may have lost out on a third title in a row, possibly because he missed a race because of his damned appendix, but Ritomo Miyata is a star of the future, good enough to race in any series. Super Formula is a wonderful series, and I feel like its stature in the motorsport world is growing. The young drivers who excel here could one day be on the radar of Formula 1 teams, because are you telling me Ritomo Miyata couldn't race in Formula 1? Kakanoushi Ota won the race, and at 24 years old is another to keep an eye on. Super Formula has been one of the best series to watch in 2023. Congratulations to Miyata, but Najiri will be back in 2024. As for Lawson, sky's the limit for him. The penultimate round of the World Rally Championship was for Central Europe Rally in Germany, Austria and the Czech Republic. Kalle Rovanperä was almost certainly going to be champion, but which of the endlessly finishing runner-ups would finish runner-up? Thierry Neuville or Elfyn Evans? Sébastien Ogier struggled early on. Apparently he was ill in the build-up to this rally. Given he is a 7-time champion and part-time driver, I don't know why he bothered turning up. Stay at home with your Ovaltine. Lappi retired once again whilst teammate Neuville was second and already drifting far behind leader Rovanperä. Day 3 and the slim hopes of a title for Evans was over. He slid into someone's shed and retired. Rovanperä then backed off, ruining the rally for everyone watching as Neuville took the lead. Pierre-Louis Lebert crashed again and is set to be replaced by Adrien Fourmel, a driver who also has a reputation for crashing. Maybe Ford really like replacing body panels. Thierry Neuville won easily from Rovanperä. Kalle Rovanperä is champion again. Evans versus Neuville for second. 1 round left in Japan in a few weeks' time. It's not been a great season, with the biggest issue being there's not enough cars or competition in the series. If it carries on like this, Rovanperä can win 10 championships in a row. Supercars from Surfers Paradise, in my mind one of the best tracks in the world. Brody Kostecki just needs to survive the last 4 races and score enough points to keep Van Gisbergen behind him. The first race was very clean, and Shane Van Gisbergen could not get rid of his shadow. That shadow being Kostecki, and this is exactly what he needs to do. Keep SVG close to him at all times. Cam Waters took the win. Will Brown's and Brock Feeney's championships have completely come off the rails at this point. Race 2 started with a big shunt taking out several cars. After a long safety car, Brody Kostecki led with SVG down in 10th place. Van Gisbergen did climb places throughout the race, which he needed to do to keep the gap to Kostecki manageable. David Reynolds managed to get past Brody Kostecki after the second stops and the race was on. They swapped the lead a couple of times, but the race was neutralised after James Golding spun and took Scott Pye out with him, bringing out the safety car. Dave Reynolds kept the lead and won his first race since 2018. The 2 championship contenders had matching results, so everything remains as is, with 1 round left in Adelaide. Good weekend of racing and I look forward to the finale. Stock Car Pro from Velocita. A series I don't mention always, but am always watching because it is a fantastically entertaining series. If you've never watched Brazilian stock car racing, then you may recognise some names, like Rubens Barrichello, Felipe Massa, Ricardo Zolta, Nelson Piquet Jr., Tony Kanaan, as well as some top stars of this series such as Daniel Serra and Gabriel Casagrande. So far in 2023, Casagrande has been leading, looking for a second championship, ahead of Rubens Barrichello, who is looking for a third. The first race was pretty straightforward. Ricardo Zonta was having a good year, but contact left him with a broken axle and retired from the race. Daniel Serra took the race win, but it was not the most exciting race ever. Would race 2 be any more interesting? Well, Gianluca Petikov lost a wheel. Is that exciting enough for you? Plenty exciting for him. Actually, there was a lot of bumps and scrapes in this one. The whole field apparently held it in for race 2. Rubens Barrichello passed Casagrande on track, but he was going to lose out on the weekend as a whole unless he made more progress. Ricardo Maurizio led the field after the safety car, but was being chased down by Felipe Massa, who hasn't won a race for 15 years. Things got a little crazy. A multi-car crash took out Rubens Barrichello on the last lap. Ricardo Maurizio won the race, so Massa is still winless. Casagrande has a 30-point lead over Felipe Fraga and only 2 rounds left. Finally, NASCAR, and we now have our 4 playoff final contenders, with it all to be decided this coming Sunday at Phoenix Raceway. Last weekend's race at Martinsville was Last Chance Saloon for 4 drivers. Denny Hamlin passed playoff rival Martin Truex for the lead early on. Truex would later hurt his own race by speeding whilst exiting the pit lane. The first couple of stages were relatively clean. We got our first big incident of the race with about 100 laps left, Logano turning around Ty Gibbs, and a few others getting involved. Ryan Blaney wins and joins Lawson and Bell in the final 4. William Byron scores enough to get there as well at the expense of Denny Hamlin. So will Kyle Larson win a second NASCAR Cup, or will we get a new champion? Find out on Sunday, I guess. So that was all the action from the past weekend, a lot less than what was on the week before, so hopefully this video will be out earlier than Sunday. My race of the weekend has to be the second Super Formula race. After the shock of the first race, a long, incredibly tense game of strategy was just what I needed. Next weekend we of course have more Formula 1, this time from Brazil with an accompanying sprint race. We also have a few more series coming to an end. The final round of the World Endurance Championship from Bahrain, which I am pumped for. The final race in NASCAR for 2023 from Arizona. Super GC also comes to an end at Motegi. Formula Regional Americas at the Circuit of the Americas. TCR World Tour also returns alongside TCR Australia. So with all that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join if you so wish. Leave your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching and have a good one.